Good morning, sir and ma'am. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for taking the time out to have this interview with me. And for today, there will be two scenarios which I would like to share with you. First of all, it's actually a stressful situation which I faced and how I managed to resolve it. And second is an academic crisis and how I managed to cope with it. So, for the first scenario, I would like to share with you about a back injury I sustained back when I was still in Victoria School at the age of 15. I was actually a national representative for the discus event in track and field, and I had a lot of rigorous weight training, which eventually led me to have a back injury. I actually paid no heed to it. I thought that my injury would subside in the days to come. However, it did not. And what actually happened was that I suffered two stress fractures in the third lumbar of my backbone. I was really upset. It was a big setback to me because I felt that all my efforts, my hard work, my tears and my sweat just went down the drain, and that I could not contribute to the national team. However, there was a voice reverberating to me, reverberating my ear and telling me that there was still a silver lining, and that one day I will eventually get back on my feet, and I'll do myself, I'll do my family, and I'll do my nation proud. So I waited 8 long months before I could finally train and compete again. And I went for the next Wala meet, which was actually in 2007, and I achieved the fourth place for Singapore. Through all this, I actually managed to learn how to be determined and how to be resilient. And also, I felt that I learned so many ways of how I can contribute to my team. For example, coaching my juniors on their throwing techniques, or how I was able to offer encouragement, and also inculcated a sense of leadership of how I had to organize and initiate trainings for my team. I feel that these skills will actually help me in this job, and also I feel that these attributes will be put to good use of how I deal with my new colleagues and how I would eventually have to overcome the difficulties I will eventually face. For the second part, which is an academic crisis, it was also an incident I had in Victoria School. Basically, I had a direct entry to the school, um, something which I never cherished until the very end. I didn't realize that I had been given a second chance. So, what actually happened was that I took everything for granted. Through the first 3 years of studying, I was barely scraping through promotion criterions. And at secondary 4, the year where I was sitting for my O levels, I actually sustained 47. I actually scored 47 points, which was the bottom 10 in the entire level. And it was the first time my father had hurled profanity at me to express his anger and disappointment. And I really do not blame him because I was ashamed of myself as well. But what eventually happened was that I told myself that my future was at stake, and if I didn't do something about it, I would not have a tertiary education. So I began to work twice as hard. I began to attend a myriad of consultations and to clarify any doubts that I had. And eventually at O levels, I scored 13 points, which I felt was an incredible feat from 47 points which I scored in mid years. And I felt that I could not have done it if I didn't tell myself that I could succeed. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to hearing from you again.